Hello, I am the cartoonist M. Rashid. This cartoon was inspired as a cover to a lengthy discussion I had about the Whoopi Goldberg controversy that recently. It was very interesting. It's the discussion itself piggybacked off of like recent videos that I made about this fake protected class concept that the dominant political identity has grifted the civil rights movement and made up these protected classes that it can like enter into and double dip into the national resource. You are the dominant political identity who hoards all that is good, all it like literally the entire society is tilted towards you by your own grifting, racketeering, organized crime, systemic racism thing. And on top of that, you're playing oppressed minority victim as a protected class. And you're doing so while you continue to lock the Black American former slave class out of access, while you continue to economically exclude me and deny me my reparations. So, this is more of the same, unfolding before us in real time, slapping Whoopi across the nose with a newspaper. Now, you can play around and act like, Whoopi, well, I'm going to say this. Whoopi is an outlier. She is a wealthy Black American. This is unusual because of the, as Antonio Moore pointed out, the co-founder of the ADOS movement, as he pointed out, from the data from the Federal Reserve, that the of the sliver of national household wealth that the Black American former slave class holds, the vast majority of it isn't in the hands of the Black celebrity figure, the NBA contract guys and the Whoopies and Oprahs, as my ideological foe likes to think or say or pretend. This is far from the case. The national household wealth, the sliver of national household wealth that we actually have, very tiny, minute piece of it is controlled by the wealthy Black celebrities. The bulk of it is in illiquid baby boomer assets and pensions. We have no wealth to speak of. It's like, so the vast majority of the national household wealth, trillions, is controlled by white people. So all this, the oppressed minority and all of that, these are the greediest creatures in the universe who have ever lived. And it's crazy to behold watching them. It's never enough. I'm the dominant political identity, control all the wealth. I hoard everything, but it's not enough. Everything is a potential grift scheme to steal and hoard more. So I'm the dominant political identity, and now I gotta fake a protected minority class, a minority protected class, so I can grift more. That's how these people are. They're insane. So there's that. Of course, we already knew this. I've had several videos where I hit that point. So watching Whoopi go through what she's going through, and for her it looks like a betrayal. It's not a betrayal. This is how they always were. Whoopi's estimated $60 million, according to a Google net worth search, what it represents is the Hollywood executives and the comic relief executives or whoever had her like dangling her along, where she would manage to accumulate that 60 million. They made far more on her, so she was able to make out with millions, but her handlers made out with far more. That's why they kept her around, to exploit her talents. That's it. They don't give a damn that you made your last name that way. They don't give a damn that you were palling around with Ted Danson or whatever. They could squeeze you until they could use you up and use your talents for them that they could make their wealth over. None of that stuff you thought about your position with them was true. You were Black American, and you were their favorite ATM machine. Black Americans are the wealth for those people. We've always been since slavery. That's the entire point. So there's an illusion of something going on here that she thought was real, and it was not real. I saw a cartoonist post his tribute to the Spiegelman book banning controversy that came out recently. He did his own tribute to it, and inside of his cartoon, there's two women, a white woman and a black woman. The white woman, I think, is holding a copy of Beloved by Toni Morrison, and the black woman is holding Spiegelman's famous graphic novel. And the topic, the word balloon in it, is talking about, I can't wait for one day when, we can like get by like racial and LGBT issues, and we can have normal lives or whatever. It was something like that. So I'm looking at the two books they're holding after having this discussion, and the discussion that this cartoon is the cover for, where the Jewish community is they're expressing that they hold a monopoly over racial prejudice. That's the essence. That's the essence of why Whoopi was punished for what she said. You don't get to say anything about racial prejudice. Racial prejudice belongs to the Jewish community, was their message. And it's a message that was reflected in this guy's cartoon. So I'm looking at the two books, and since I know for a fact that they're flexing a monopoly over racial, unquote, then that's what Spiegelman's novel represents, does it not? So I asked the cartoonist, so was the LGBT one Beloved? He didn't say anything, he just liked my comment. Thank you, that's all I need. So, here's what I discovered in that discussion. That Nazi propaganda that led to the Holocaust, all of that, everything around that, the Nazis were trying to force the false concept that the white European Jewish community were a separate race. That one group of white European white people, one group of European light-skinned white people were saying that another group of white Europeans were a separate race. That was what the Germans were trying to force in their propaganda. And now, with their expressed monopoly over racial prejudice, the Jews are agreeing with the Nazis. Did they always? No. Why are they agreeing with the Nazis now? Well, of course, it started with their usurpation of the civil rights movement. Suddenly, in seeing the opportunity and seeing what my slain civil rights leaders was putting together as the concept of the civil rights movement protected class for their people, this concept was stolen, appropriated, and taken on by this group, who suddenly decided that they agreed with the Nazis for no other reason than to get away with this grift. That's bad. It's not the worst of it. The worst of it is, while you're doing this, while you are a protected class on the civil rights movement model, you are continuing to exploit me. And you just, because of that Obama Black Lives Matter thing I told you about the other day, that because of that, you've handed me the LGBT thing. So now every time you see a black person, they have to be gay because that's what you gave me. This is diabolical. This is evil as shit. Evil. Watching this creature move around. My fury is off the charts just in that thread. It took everything in me not to go off on the people. I don't hate the Jews. I hate slimeball, grifting, thieving, crooked people preying upon my people. I hate the racists. I hate the white supremacist ideology that they've partnered with, along with that jackass. So I hate the white racist aristocracy. And it's continuously stealing, plundering, exploiting my people. And everywhere I turn, there you are doing it. Every single historical rock you left, there they are. Doing shit. So it's so what was Whoopi supposed to do? Her heart is broken from that trash. You know it is. That's why she changed her last name. She was like, no, I'm good. I partner with you. That's why she changed her name. She wanted to she thought she was being very clever. People hate your guts. You're nothing to them except a human ATM machine. It's like nothing has changed. Might as well be like 1620. Nothing has changed. People can't stand you. You're nothing to them except an exploitation machine. Just wring all the money out of you. All right. Peace.